Welcome to the CBS Eye on Money show. It is Thursday, December 23rd. Well, Mark, here we are, just a couple days before Christmas. Oh, what do you do for Christmas Eve? Are you going to do some sort of seven fishes to honor your Italian roots or not?
There will be seafood. I am not doing seven different types. No, forget that.
Did you grow up doing that or not?
Yeah. We went to Christmas Eve was always about going to my grandparents' house, and it was all about seafood.
Now, it is your father who brings the Italian side, right?
Correct.
And so was your father's family, were they the good cooks because they are Italian? Were they the Stanley Tucci's of your life?
Yeah, my grandmother was the cook, not my grandfather.
And she was the good one. And was she first generation?
She was born here. Yeah, she was born on Staten Island. My grandfather came from Italy.
Okay, I gotcha. I had a friend of mine in Providence whose family did a real seven fishes, like a whole soup to nuts. It was pretty amazing. However, the problem is that once you get through like 1, 2, 3, you're done. You're so full. It's exhausting to eat that much. So
you gotta have a ton of people to do that.
That's right. You need a little taste of everything, and you have to know that you're pacing yourself. It's like Olympic eating, really.
I'm just gonna do a linguine and clams on Christmas Eve.
That's nice. And what about Christmas Day? What will be on the menu in the Talercio household?
I think I'm going to do a pork loin or shoulder. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, all right.
What about you?
Well, I'm not cooking this year, so I am so happy. I've been responsible. You know what I got the assignment for? So this is the first time in about 10 years I haven't done Christmas. My sister-in-law gave me dessert, which I'm very happy about. I just ordered a bûche de Noël, a little French dessert, because it was a request from someone in the family. And I said, I'm going to get it. So I found like the best bûche de Noël in New York City. I have now ordered it. I'm ready to have it all picked up. Where should I get good cookies, Mark, in the city? Like, I want to get beautiful pignoli nut cookies. I love those.
There's only two places as far as I'm concerned. You either go to Ferrara or you go to Vigneros in the East Village, one or the other.
I know that, but it's very difficult with these places because, to order online is like crazy. So now I'm going to have to go down there. Maybe I'll do it next week when I come down.
I was going to say, if you plan on coming down here for lunch, either one of them is within walking distance.
Will the cookies hold for 2 days?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try it. I think I can do it. This is going to be a very, very big outing. I might have to have a backup plan just in case. We are here to try to help people, you guys, listeners, get to the next best place in your financial life. Today, we are on the line with Adam, who is from Pittsburgh, the culinary center of the state of Pennsylvania. Are you ready to talk trash about Philly right now, Adam?
I'd like to, but I really enjoy a good cheesesteak, and I'd hate to go to Philly one day and be outed by someone who'd heard me on this podcast talking bad about their city. So I'm just going to refrain from that.
All right. That's very grown up of you. I mean, it is true. Okay, Adam, what can we do for you today?
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you were saying that you got an angry email from someone who stated that she should have more regular people on the show. And I assume by regular people, this woman meant people who don't have millions of dollars in their in assets. Mm-hmm. And it's like to think that someday I'm going to get there, but I'm not there yet. So I always as I've been listening to your podcast over the past few months, I've been thinking about coming on just to have you, answer some questions for me and provide me with some guidance. But the email from that this woman sent in was definitely kind of the spark, and so I'm happy to be here because I just want to get just some general guidance on what my next steps should be. And just to give you a quick background on, and another reason as to why I decided to do this, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit behind in terms of my financial goals. And just to make a long story short, I'm 37 years old, been here in Pittsburgh for the past 20 years or so, work for a bank here, a pretty large bank here in the commercial real estate field.
How's commercial real estate in Pittsburgh right now?
It's looking pretty good. The portfolio and deals that I work on are all over the country. So I don't have a real pulse on the Pittsburgh market. But overall, within commercial real estate, there are sectors such as lodging and retail, which aren't performing too well, although they're starting to get back to pre-pandemic levels. But then you
Good.
have others such as industrial and a few others that are doing well because they aren't too dependent on the ebbs and flows in the overall economy.
Okay, so this is good. So you work as a banker. How much do you make?
$72,000 per year.
Okay. Are you single, partnered?
Single.
Okay. On that 72,000, do you make a retirement contribution?
I do. Currently, it's 8%, and I'm looking to bump that up to at least obviously 1% each year. So it'd probably be 9%, but I'd like to do 10 or 11% and
Okay.
eventually get up to 15% within the next 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years.
That's great. Okay. What is the balance in the 401k right now?
So it's the total retirement pot right now is about 57,000, but that's split between a 401k of 47,000. But I
Mhm.
also have a pension with the company
Oh,
that I work for.
what? Wait a
I'm
minute. A bank with a pension? What?
Yes.
That's sounding pretty damn good. Tell me about the pension.
So the pension, I'm fully vested at the moment. It's still pretty small because I've been with the bank for about it'll be 5 years next April.
Hmm.
The total amount as of December 13th was $10,506.91. And I'm sure you could probably educate me on this, but it will continue to grow the longer I stay with the
Yes.
bank and as I make more money.
But you don't put any money into that. They make the contribution into the pension plan on your behalf, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. And on your 401k contribution, 8% now, 9% next year, maybe 10, who knows? Is there a matching component?
Yes, there is. It's I think it's up to 4%. So yeah, I contribute 8, they put in 4,
Okay,
and it's maxed out. 4% is the max.
great. Okay, that's wonderful. Do you have any money that's in just like sort of a boring emergency reserve fund?
I do. I have currently have about 5,000 in an emergency fund that would cover my expenses as a single person for at least 4 months.
What?
That
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are your expenses? This is crazy. How could that be 4 months? Are you renting or do you own?
yeah. So I rent. So I pay about $697 per month in
Whoa,
rent.
what? You pay $700 a month in rent?
Yes.
Mark, would you like to say anything right now?
Describe the place that you live in.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's very good. That was a good follow-up.
yeah. So it's just there are 2 floors. So I'm on the first floor. Have neighbors on the second, and that's it. So it's not a multifamily. The expenses are pretty low. If you've ever been to Pittsburgh, I'm about 15 minutes from the airport. So very convenient location, very nice part of the city. It's
Hmm.
Coriopolis is the city. So compared to some of the other spots in in the area, it's very affordable.
Now,
And
wait a second. How many square feet do you live in?
total, I'd say about 12, maybe 1,300 square feet.
That was big.
That
Yeah,
is big.
yeah, it's pretty big.
That's incredible. Do you have a nice landlord
Yes,
or
she's
landlady?
yes. They're very, very nice. And since I've been here, I've since 2018, the rent has not increased. So they're very, very nice people.
Oh my God, I'm sure that's going to go up. So that's amazing. Wow, that is cheap. And so 5 grand probably, well, it's not, can't be 4 months because that's just your rent is so low, but you have to eat, right?
Yeah, I eat. I mean, but like I
I
said, my
eat.
expense. Yeah, I eat. But when I am thinking of those,
I eat ramen noodle.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. I have ramen noodle and cereal, but cereal's very expensive now, so I don't know what you eat. But what are your expenses? What do you think you really spend? Do you think you spend like $1,500 a month in general? Like, is that kind of where you stand, or 1,000? Like, what's the actual expenses? Do you think?
yes, I worked this out for about 3 months, and it's about around 1,600 a month, give or take.
So beyond putting money in the 401k, are you actively saving money in this emergency reserve fund to beef it up a little bit? Because I still think you're light. I think you should be at 10,000 in that fund.
Oh yeah, absolutely, I am. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to call is because over the past year or so, my income has increased significantly. Also, I will be making my final car payment this month. So
Ooh.
I will have an extra let's say $330 to $340, because in addition to just the monthly payments I was making, I did some calculations earlier this year, and I decided to make the curtailments as well. I'll have another 340. I also got a pretty nice raise here that went into effect immediately. That also will be contributing another, let's say, 200 and let's say $30 to $240 per paycheck. So right now, I'm going to have an extra
Five, six hundred bucks.
$600 each month, and
All
that
right.
will increase as well. Once we get into the during that spring, summer, fall portion, when my in this case some of my monthly expenses go down, I'll be able to save even more. So I'm looking at about an extra $500 to $600 per month, and I want to know what to do with that.
So let's say that for the first few months of the year, you put the money away, beef that up to 10 grand. The 401k, do you have a Roth 401k option or not?
There is an option, but here's the thing: I've been listening to your show, daily, and I'm hearing these folks who are taking some of their money that they have outside of their normal contributions, and they've been investing it in the Roth. So I do have a Roth that I started earlier this year, and that I was just making contributions to, because I was just sick of placing some of this money into a savings account and watching it accumulate a penny each month.
Okay.
So total right now it's still pretty small. It's about 50. I've contributed about 1,500. Like I said, it's still pretty small, but over the next few years, I'd like to get to the point where I can max that out. In addition to the 15% pre-tax contribution on my 401k.
Well, I mean, look, you're in the 22% tax bracket just because you're single,
Yes.
and you're not going down to 12. Mark, do you want him to use the Roth 401k anyway, or should he just keep doing what he's doing? What do you think?
Believe it or not, I kind of think keep doing what he's doing, because if he goes Roth, his cash flow is going to go down even more.
Right.
And I want him to have that money to try and start building up a brokerage account just so he has some accessible cash.
So I think what you're saying, Mark, is this. For the first, say, 4 months of the year, you are going to put away extra money in this boring savings account, and you're going to be like, "Wah, I don't want to do that." If you don't really want to do it all at once, you could certainly split the money. You could say you could put $250 in savings and $250 into the Roth if you want to. It's fine. I don't really care. Do you get bonuses or not?
I do. I just started a new position here at the bank, and starting next year, probably around March or so, I'll be eligible for a bonus. I'm not sure what the amount will be, but I can always.
All right. Well, you could basically say that what your goal will be is to get 10 grand. Let me give you a broad goal and see if we can live with this. By June 30th, I want 10 grand in the safe emergency reserve fund. Okay. By June 30th. So you can get there however you want. Now, what you should do with that bonus, though, is you should take the money that you get as a bonus and you can fund your Roth option.
Okay.
Your Roth IRA. And then just keep doing what you're doing. And, you'll probably be able to go to 10% to your 401k next year. Let's see how your cash flow looks. But is there anything else, Mark, that he should be doing in terms of the contributions? I mean, because I feel like he should do the Roth before he does a brokerage account. I think that's kind of makes it cleaner.
The Roth IRA?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he uses his bonus for that kind of I don't know how big the bonus is going to be, but that could potentially take care of that.
Right.
And he could use the extra cash flow each month to do the brokerage.
Right. That's true. So you would essentially have 4 basic accounts, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
One would be your savings account. Boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second would be your traditional 401k. Easy peasy. The third would be your Roth IRA. And where's that Roth IRA held? At which institution?
Fidelity.
At Fidelity.
Yeah,
and
it's a robo.
I think if you got that funded and you got 6 grand in there for next year, and you probably will, that your extra cash flow, you can start considering a brokerage account. And you're going to get, of course, as you make more money, all of this is going to become easier and easier. But you may want to get back in touch with us when you get the bonus. Because if the bonus is way more than you think, like I'm sort of thinking like, wow, it would be great if you got a $5,000 bonus. But if you get a $15,000 bonus, then you got to let us know and we can talk about the way to do it. How do you feel about your investing acumen? Are you good at it? Are you feeling comfortable?
I'm getting better. Like I said, the Fidelity account is with a robo advisor, so I don't. There's not too much going on there, but I do want to learn more, especially as I open a brokerage account, because I'd love to be able to take a more hands-on role with that.
All right.
Down the road.
Let me tell you how easy it is. Mark, would you like to give the expert advice on how to manage a brokerage account since you manage it for your family?
1, 2, 3 index funds. Don't overthink it.
Really, a stock index, U.S. extended market or broad stock market index, a small amount in a bond index, and then a small amount in an international index. It could be as simple as saying, I have $150 or $200 in a month, and you could say, okay, of that money, 60% can go into a US stock, 20% into an international stock, and 20% into a bond fund. And that's it. I mean, if your rent stays at $700 a month, there's no reason to move, or you must find somebody to partner with who already has a house so that you don't have to buy it. But if you decide you want to actually make buying a home a priority, it's hard to do that if you're paying such cheap rent and you're happy where you are. But if that becomes a priority, you're going to have to start saving more money outside of the retirement account, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right now, I have no plans to purchase a home. I just think that, just given the market and given the cheap rent and the fact that I enjoy living here, there's no reason for me to move at all.
All right. Anything else for Adam that we should tell him, Mark? What do you think?
No, I'm still trying to get over that rent.
I know, right? I want to point out one thing. I really feel like there's so many great places in the country to live. And as much as I love being in New York, the idea that this man's rent is very close to the amount of money I pay for my garage is churning my stomach right now. I just want to put that out there in the universe. So if you are like Adam and you would like to join our program, then you must go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and then you click the contact button. Now, what you're also going to find on that website is you will find my books of the year, which is under the read column. One of the things that I realized, Mark, is when we were talking about like what are the, from some of our favorite interviews, I realized that many of these interviews, I really did have such a good time doing it. So I'm just going to do a quickie of like my favorite guests. And this was on our other broadcast. So you can go onto the website, jillonmoney.com. You'll see the books of the year. And then I also have links so that you can listen to the interview that I conducted with these authors. And these were really fantastic. So you ready for mine, Mark? And you can tell me what you think. 1, The Whiteness of Wealth, How the Tax System Impoverishes Black Americans and How We Can Fix It. That's Dorothy A. Brown. I loved her. Mark and I had so much fun with her. Maybe the best part was the end of the interview when we talked about like there's no pizza in the South. She's a Bronx girl. Mark, what did you think? Brad Stulberg, is he your favorite?
No, I enjoyed him. Not my favorite. We had Cal Newport on. I always like Cal Newport. We had Tim Harford on. I always liked Tim Harford. And you remember the interview we did with Ellen Bennett? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed her. She did her Mexican announcer voice for us.
Yes, that was so good. I liked that. That's good. I should have put that on. I should have. I put Brad Stulberg on my books of the year because I thought this book, Practice of Groundedness, was great. I put Robin Wigglesworth on, the index fund guy. Then, of course, I put Stacey Vanek Smith, who is my friend, who wrote Machiavelli for Women. And I also put Katie Milkman down because, she's very smart and quite excellent. And she wrote a book called How to Change. I also, by the way, I put down Michael Lewis because I thought the interview was so interesting because it was I wanted one pandemic book. So it was either him or Adam Tooze, and I picked Michael Lewis. All right. If you want to check it out, we are pre-recording this, of course. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm sending Mark the blog post to put up onto the site. It's at jillonmoney.com. Check it out. Books of the year. You let us know what you're reading. I think that it's always fun to hear what you guys are doing and what you're binging and what you're reading. And if you've got a financial question, you can also do that. Click on the contact button at our website, jillonmoney.com. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcast. We are on vacation officially this week and next, but we are still dropping episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Mark Talercio is our phenomenal co-host and the best executive producer in the world. We are distributed by Viacom CBS. And we especially want to remind you that we like you to do something nice for someone else today and every day, but especially during this season, especially if someone is alone, because I always feel like this is a weird season for that. Curiosity, compassion, and community is our mantra. We thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.